So I'm with Janice and John, and we're going to work on Ekpada Kundanyasana 1 and 2 today. And they're kind of these arm balances that people have a very hard time getting off of the ground with correct alignment or maintaining correct alignment and giving up getting off the ground. So I've got a little trick that will make it easier. So you'll need a strap, and I'll show you how you want the strap set up once we get there. But just have it ready, and you're going to start in child's pose. So move yourself far enough back on your mat that you can extend your arms out all the way in front of you and have your hands still on the floor so you don't have to, or on your mat so you don't have to adjust later. Okay, and then you can look, there's no rule against looking at your hands and making sure they're placed correctly. So have them shoulder distance apart, spread your fingers wide, and then pay attention to your hands. They're different for everybody. You just want all 10 fingers and the entire palm of your hand anchored down evenly. And that's kind of going to be throughout, especially when you're doing arm balances or inversions. And so once they're anchored, then all the instructions that are going to follow are just going to be maintain that and then do this. So maintain the root of your hands and rebound the length of your arms from your wrists through your shoulders up to the ceiling. And then wrap your outer arms down so that you get a base of your neck a little wider, the shoulder blades a little wider. And then firm your outer arms in like you were trying to pinch your arms towards your ears. And then hold all of that and see if you can wiggle your fingers a little further forward to get a little extra length, and then re-anchor your hands evenly. And then there's this huge desire. You've done all this work to get your hands to be correct and your arms to be correct. There's this thing like, oh, I'm going to undo it and come into down dog. Try not to. Lift your hips just enough to get your toes curled under, feet hip distance, and then take your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Janice bent her elbows. She did exactly what I said not to. All right. Now, once you're here, again, now you're at a different angle, so pay attention to your hands. Anchor them nice and evenly. Hold that. Outer arms, wrap them down. Outer arms, hug them in. And now you get to work your legs. So 50% legs here. Kneecaps lift up, so it just means straighten your knees out fully. And as you do that, send your tailbone away from the heel of your hand so your spine is in a long line. And then intentionally try to flex your ankles. And all that does is engage the muscles in your shins, which drive your heels further down. There's always these questions, how do I get my heels down? Well, that's how, and one day if your Achilles tendons are long enough, they might hit the floor. Otherwise, they might not, but you keep using that effort. Now you're going to use this effort you've set up in your legs and inhale, shift forward into plank pose. Bring your shoulders over your wrists. Okay. So once you're here, it's easy to let your legs go slack and to have your upper body do all the work, but it's kind of what we're going to try to avoid today. So press your hands down, same arms, wrap the outer arms back, hug them in so your chest feels wide, but then add some low belly. You're going to intentionally draw it straight up to your spine. Keep your knees very straight like you were doing in down dog. And then without letting the weight shift back, intentionally try to flex your ankles so your heels drive back. It should feel like you're more balanced front to back of your mat now. And now on a slow exhale, just hinging at your hips and opening your shoulders alongside your ears, press back into downward facing dog. Good. Right now, just on the breath a couple of times. Inhale, shift forward, plank pose. And then exhale, fold at your hips, long spine into downward facing dog. And do it 2 more times. Follow your long inhale forward and a long exhale back. Good. One more time. And then it's going to be strap time. Good. Okay. And then drop your knees down. We totally coordinated today, by the way, too. We're channeling our Jane Fonda videos from the 80s. So if you want to do that, you can participate. We're orange, right? So you're going to take a strap, and you're going to make a shoulder distance loop. And when the instructor says that, oftentimes, like, where is that supposed to be? You're going to measure from the head of one arm bone to the other and make a loop that big. And then you're going to place it just above your elbows. And have it just above your elbows. Otherwise, it's not going to work quite as well for what we want to do. Right. And then once you have it there, you're going to come back into downward facing dog. And it might feel in downward facing dog like it's a little loose and it's going to fall off. That's okay as long as it doesn't fall off. Okay. So once you're in down dog, now hands are even again. Outer arms are hugging in like you're intentionally trying to make the strap slightly loose without letting it fall off. And then roll your outer arms down to the floor. Now inhale, come forward into plank pose and bring your shoulders over your wrists again. Now the strap is there. You're not trying to push out into it. You're allowing it to hug your outer arms in, and you're trying to get away from it slightly. Right, now, shift forward so your shoulders pull beyond your wrists a good couple of inches. Keep your legs working, heels back, pressing the weight back through the backs of your legs, and then shift forward a little further and exhale, lower halfway into chaturanga. You're going to use the strap as a hammock. Right, so once you're halfway down, it's going to hold your rib cage up, shoulders up on your back, collarbones wide. Right, now, drag your hands back towards your waist without letting them move at all, and you'll be able to feel your legs get a little light. So pick your right leg up just a little bit. It won't be a lot of effort here. Put it back down, and then pick your left leg up and put it back down. On an inhale, push up to plank pose, and exhale, press back into downward facing dog. Right, so your legs are still working, but they've gotten a little bit lighter. Now we're just going to explore the efforts in the backs of your legs that you'll need later in the arm balance. So inhale, shift forward to plank, shoulders over your wrists, neck long, shoulders back, shift forward, lower, halfway, chaturanga. Good. Keep that idea, flexing the ankles, but now pick your right leg up, let it get light, but now work the back of your right leg, the hamstring, to take it a little bit higher, but as you do, you'll see both of them are arching a little bit, belly in, tailbone to your heels. Good, and then set your right leg down, pick your left leg up. This is going to feel like a lot less effort than when you don't have the strap. Feel the inner thigh lift, the belly draw in, the heel drive back. Good, now put your left foot down. Now think about the floor pressing up into your front body to hold you away from the floor. And as you take a little bit of an inhale, exhale and press yourself a 1/4 inch up off of the strap. Just feel the resistance away from the floor. Good, now inhale, push all the way up into plank pose. And exhale, press yourself back into downward facing dog. Now get rid of your strap, but you're not going to forget it. You're going to remember it the entire time while we go through the rest of the flow class. All right, so go back into downward facing dog once you're done with your strap. And you're going to remember how it held your shoulders in alignment. So inhale, shift forward into plank pose, shift a little further, and then imagine the strap there, and exhale, lower halfway down. Now feel how the front of your body has to resist away from the floor to keep you there. Good, inhale up into plank. Those are gorgeous. And then exhale, pull back into downward facing dog. Right, this time, inhale, shift forward into plank pose. And exhale, lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Right, once you're all the way down, uncurl your toes, have your feet hip distance apart, move your hands back so that they're underneath your elbows, just like you had in chaturanga a second ago. Right, now push your toes down and back into the mat, knees straight, hip points glued to the floor. And on an inhale, pull your chest forward and lift it up into a little bit of a low cobra. Okay, so have just your upper body mimicking that shape that it had in chaturanga a second ago. Draw the low belly in just a drop so your hip points hit the mat. And then pick your right leg up an inch off of the floor. Work the back of the leg like you just did in chaturanga with the strap to get the leg to go up, but the belly in so the hip points stay down. Good, now lower your right leg, keep your chest lifted, and lift your left leg an inch off of the mat. You're not going for a lot of height, you're just exploring the work that you need in the back of your leg to get the leg up as you maintain your shoulder alignment. Good, lower your left leg down, and then lower your chest and your head down to the floor. Okay, curl your toes under the other way. Press your legs straight. Janice just moaned. She knows what's coming. Right? Once your legs are straight, now remember, they're going to do 50% of the work here for you. So get them active, push your hands down, shoulders and head up off of the mat. Now work your core, draw your belly in a huge amount. Take an inhale, think about the floor pressing you up, and as you exhale, push halfway into chaturanga. Try to do it in one line. Those were excellent. Inhale up into plank. Janice, you get a gold star. Exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Right, now you have most of the points that you're going to need for the arm balances later. We're going to flow just to warm up a little bit. So look forward, bend your knees, lift your heels, and step or hop your feet between your hands. Inhale, pull your sternum through your arms. And then exhale, fold at your hips, let your crown of your head move down. Inhale, come up to standing, arms alongside your ears. And then exhale, hands to your heart, mountain pose, samastitihi. Right, let's move through some A's. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, look forward, chest wide. And then exhale, step back to plank for your first one. Keep your shoulders beyond your wrists, and on your next exhale, lower halfway into chaturanga. First up dog, flip your toes, inhale, upward facing dog. Just pause and take 3 breaths, keeping your collarbones wide by pushing the length of your arm back, hands nice and evenly grounded, knees straight, toes back. Good. Roll up and over your toes, fold at your hips, downward facing dog. And then here, look for that 50-50 thing. Arms doing half the work, legs encouraging them to do the other half of the work. The low belly's pretty relaxed here, but your upper back, it's pressing into your chest to keep your spine in one long, straight line. Now look forward, lift your heels, step or hop. Inhale, chest through your arms, Ardha, arch your upper back to do that. Exhale, fold forward, keep your spine long. Inhale, come up to standing, bring your arms alongside your ears. And then exhale, hands to your heart, mountain pose. Let's do it with a hop this time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, look forward. Exhale, walk or hop and lightly bend your elbows mid-air. Well, don't lightly, but bend them mid-air into Chaturanga. And then inhale, up dog. John's so good, he stays. And exhale, downward facing. Janice just goes forward. She's like, forget it, I've had it. That was my exhale. That's because Janice is here with me every week, and this is only his second time. He'll learn not to be scared of me anymore. Then he'll just do whatever he wants. Right, look forward, step or hop your feet up in between your hands. Inhale, collarbones wide. Exhale and fold back into Uttanasana. Inhale, come up to standing. Keep your arms straight. Have them as wide as you need to maintain that. And exhale, hands to your heart. Right, one last time. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, look forward. Exhale, Chaturanga, your breath, as long as your exhale takes. And then an inhale into the back bend. And exhale, roll up and over your toes and push back into downward facing dog. All right, now think handstand. Think a little bit of height on this one. So look forward, bend your knees, and if you're hopping, take your hips way high over your hands and land with your feet together. Nice, John. Inhale, chest up. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees, drop your hips, and inhale into chair pose with your arms overhead. Good. Wrap your outer arms forward again. So much so that maybe your palms even start to face the back of your mat. And then lift your chest up, lift your hip points up as well, and maybe look up and bring your palms closer together. If you can touch them with straight arms, do. Exhale, fold forward, legs straight. Inhale, chest forward, look up. And then exhale, send your left leg back. Lower your left knee down, uncurl your back toes, shift your weight back and straighten your right leg. So flex your right ankle so that your toes face up, that same effort you've been doing in plank and in down dog. And then you can look, there's really no rule at looking at your body and making sure that your hips are square, back toes are uncurled and facing straight back. And then once you have that, hug the tops of your thighs together, pull your chest through your arms like when you were shifting from plank to Chaturanga. And then bend your right knee, step yourself back into plank pose. Lower slow, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. And then exhale, push back into downward facing dog. Once you're in down dog, inhale, come forward into plank pose, shoulders over your wrists. You're going to maintain that, maintain the upper body, pick your right foot up an inch, feel the back of the leg work. Now keep your ankle nice and flexed and bring your right knee to your right tricep. Okay, so just get the kneecap to touch, the inner kneecap to touch the outer arm. But now keep your collarbones wide and pulling forward. Shift a little bit further forward, neck long, and just bend your elbows 2 inches. Good, just like you would for Chaturanga. Very nice. Inhale, push up into plank. Exhale, pull your right knee into your nose, round your back a lot, pull the abdomen in to do that. And then step your foot forward. Step your back foot to meet your front foot. Inhale, widen your collarbones and look up. Exhale, fold at your hips. Bend your knees, drop your hips, and inhale into chair pose, arms overhead. And that same thing, weight back. Once the weight's back, inner knees, little bit of magnetism between them, and hip points up, chest up, gaze up, arms straight, maybe touch. Exhale, fold, straighten your legs out. Inhale, take your chest through your arms, look up. And then exhale, right leg goes back this time, lower the knee, uncurl your back toes, shift back, fold. Okay, and then think about trying to stand your left heel on the front of your mat as you pull the toes back. Hips are square to the front of your mat or to the floor, whatever makes more sense to you. Fold at your hip crease, so you're going to use your hip flexor like you do when you bring your knee to your tricep. And then press your upper back through your arms so that you're doing that same effort from plank to Chaturanga. All right, and then bend your front knee and step into plank pose and take a vinyasa to down dog. So pretty. And then push back. Here we go. This is Janice's other favorite part, knee to tricep. Come forward into plank pose. Another sigh. It's all right to sigh. Pick your left foot up. Bring your left knee to your left tricep. Do not change your upper body. You're flexing at the hip crease using your hip flexor muscles and then some extra low belly. Right? Keep the weight even in your hands. Shift forward. Hug the outer arms in. Bend your elbows just 2 inches towards chaturanga. Keep your neck long. Good. Inhale up into plank. Exhale, left knee to your nose. Round your back. Push the floor down. Step your foot through. Step your back foot forward. Inhale, chest forward and wide. Exhale, fold. This time, inhale, bend your knees, sit your hips down into chair pose for just a breath. And exhale, push up, stand, bring your hands to your heart, mountain pose. All right. Step wide to face the side of your mat. Parallel your feet off. Have your heels behind your second and third toe. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift your chest up. And then exhale, fold yourself forward. When you're halfway forward, put your hands under your shoulders and get your spine to be very long. Right? Hug your thighs together. Inner thighs wrap in towards one another just a little bit. And now if this is enough in your hamstrings, you can just stay here. If you can fold further with a long spine, start to fold further at your hips, then walk your hands back. Maybe they'll look like chaturanga, but the effort is to make your arms look like chaturanga completely one day. Crown of your head, reach it straight down away from your tailbone. And all the while, it's really important to hug your thighs together, to hug your outer hips together, and to do the lengthening from your upper back. John, move your hands just a drop back, and then draw your elbows in. Good. So shoulders up on your back. It's just an upside down chaturanga. And now press into your hands. Inhale, pull your chest wide and through your arms. Exhale, bring your hands to your hips. And inhale, stand yourself all the way up. Okay, spin your right leg out, spin your back toes in, and set up for triangle pose. So it doesn't matter how far you fold down. You're going to reach your arms out to the sides. Make sure your front foot, your knee, and your front hip are all in one plane. Right? And then square your chest to the side of your mat and start to think about only folding from where you folded when you brought your knee to your tricep. So fold there, start to reach, reach, reach. When you get about halfway down, draw your low belly in a drop. And then put your right hand down wherever it lands and reach your left arm straight up to the ceiling. And then once you're there, put the weight in the ball of your right foot and lift up through both of your kneecaps. A little low belly, especially if your lower back tends to be a bendy portion of your body. It's a little more low belly for you. Good. Now think about my hand being on your left side ribs and pressing those left side ribs down to the floor. It means engaging the left obliques. And when you do that, your right side will lengthen a little further. Good. Now turn your top palm, reach that top arm alongside your ear. Keep your elbows straight. Now, engage the left side of your waist just a little more, drawing the ribs towards the hip point until maybe your right arm gets a little bit lighter. And if it does, if it gets so light that nothing else changes and you can bring your right arm alongside your right ear, then do. If anything else changes, keep your hand down where it is. Good. Oh, crunchier, more. Up, 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 but fold. Oh, and we'll fix it on the other side. All right, put your bottom hand down, reach your top arm up, and then inhale, bring yourself up to standing. Spin your right leg in and your left toes out. Right, so we'll fix on John what I'm talking about with the side body crunch. Right, so hip, knee, toe, one line. Now, start to hinge, keep your chest square to the side of your mat. So fold, fold, fold. When you can't fold at your hip crease anymore, you're going to think about trying to bring your right ribs towards your right hip point. So shorten this. Brilliant. Now leave that and put your bottom arm down and your top arm up. Good. And then there's just a little bit of lower belly drawing in. There you go. Good. Now give me belly. Give me a crunch. Good. Turn the top palm and reach that arm alongside your ear. And you can see if you look at them, their spines are in one long line. They're kind of tilted at an angle. Eventually, they'll be parallel with the floor. You keep working from the right side of your waist and your left hip crease to maybe make the left arm lighter and lighter. And if it comes up, you're just in that same exact shape, but it's just a little bit more core work. These are very good. Just a drop more. Good. Steady breath. And then take your bottom arm down, reach your top arm back up. Inhale, bring yourself up to standing. Square your feet off. Step yourself up to the front of your mat. Bring your feet together, hands together in front of your heart. All right. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, Uttanasana, fold forward and down. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, look forward. And exhale, take yourself through a vinyasa to downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Spin your back heel flat at an angle. Inhale, bring yourself up into warrior one, arms alongside your ears. And then exhale, open yourself out into warrior two. Right, so heel to arch if you have hips that are a little tighter, heel to heel if you don't. And then angle your back foot in enough that it makes it easy to get your right hip underneath of you. There's no rules against not turning it in. Okay, and then weight in your right heel. Now hip points, they're level from left to right. Chest is still square, same thing you were just doing in triangle. Right, now you're going to hinge like you did to fold into triangle. Send your right hip crease back. Keep your knee bent though. Engage your left side waist to get that length. Now bring your right elbow to your right knee. Take your top arm straight up to the ceiling. Good. Do that little bit of low belly, the work of the left side obliques. And now with your right elbow, you're slowly going to start to climb your right elbow down your shin. Right? So start to slide it down, 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 down without losing any of the work, and then put your fingertips on the floor to the inside edge of your foot. Good. Let the inner knee and the outer arm hug together, and your collarbones feel wide. Draw your belly in, and now pay attention to your back leg and work the back leg like you will in a moment when you do the arm balance. Good. All right, and then push the floor down. Inhale, bring yourself up into warrior two. And exhale, hands down to the mat and take yourself through a vinyasa to down dog. Good. Okay, left side. Left foot forward, right heel down. Inhale, warrior one. And then exhale, open out, warrior two. So heel to arch or heel to heel, especially if you're bendy. If you find it very easy to get your hip and knee in one line with your front foot, then heel to heel. Okay? And then angle the back foot in enough that it's very, very easy to do that rotation in your front hip. So turn your back toes in. I've wanted to do this with you for a while. That should feel better. Okay, good. All right, now keep your chest square to the side of your mat, that little bit of low belly. Start to reach and fold at your left hip crease. Think about tilting your pelvis on its side. Work from the right side waist again, and then put your left elbow on your knee and reach your top arm up. So it shouldn't feel like you're sinking into the elbow. You should be working from your core, and then slowly start to slide the elbow down your shin. Keep working from your torso to make it light, and then land it lightly to the inside of your foot. Nudge the knee and the arm together. The hip will swing under, just like it was in Warrior Two a second ago. You have to do some low belly work to maintain your lumbar stability. A little bit of upper back work to keep your collarbones wide, like they'll be in Chaturanga when you do the arm balance. Good. And then work the back leg. Really press the outer edge of the foot. Feel the back of the leg, the hamstring, as well as the quad working. All right, and then look down and inhale. Bring yourself up into Warrior Two. And then exhale, take your hands down to the mat and through a vinyasa to down dog. Good. All right, look forward. Step or hop your feet up in between your hands. Inhale, pull your chest wide through your arms. And then exhale, fold at your hips. Right, again, inhale, pull your chest forward and wide. Bring your hands out underneath your shoulders. Okay, and then you can be as high on your fingertips. You can even put blocks under your hands if you need them to get that length in your spine. Right, now float your right leg up to the height of your hip. Right, look at your right big toes if you need to for a second. Send them straight down. Keep your left leg nice and straight. Chest wide, look forward. Right, now, just feel the work in the back of your leg. And you're going to use the inner thigh a little bit more than the outer to start to take the leg a little bit higher. And you're not looking for a huge amount of height. You're just feeling what the back of your leg has to do to lift away from the floor. Good. Keep reaching through the heel. You can even make a Barbie foot with that foot if you like that better. Good. And then as you exhale, lower your right leg down and fold forward again. Just take a pause. Good. Okay, other side. So just a little L shape, but you're really just inspecting what your back of your thigh has to do to work. So inhale, pull your chest forward, look up, lift your left leg up, height of your hip, press through the heel, steer the big toe down so you know you're square, and then look forward again. And just from the inner thigh, a little more than the outer thigh, really straight knee, start to take the leg a little bit higher, feel the hamstring work, reach through the ball of your foot or your heel, whichever you like better. The final pose is Barbie foot, so you might as well. And then lower your left leg down. Heel toe your feet to hip distance apart. Grab your elbows and hang forward for a second. Good. And just in and out through your nose. Steady your breath back out. And we're going to work on the arm balance in a second. All right. It's that time. Release your arms down. Heel toe your feet together. Inhale, chest wide. Exhale, hands to your hips. Inhale, stand all the way up, and we'll take one sun salutation A through to down dog. So step to the front of your mat if you're not there already, and then inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward, chest wide, and exhale through a vinyasa. You can always skip it as well and go right into down dog. Okay, so from down dog now, drop your knees down and you're gonna get your strap again and we're gonna work on the arm balance. So Ekapada Kundanyasana, I believe this is 2, or is this 1? This is 2. The twisted one is 1. So you're gonna put your strap back on your arms just like you did for Chaturanga at the very beginning. And you'll come back into downward facing dog. Okay. Now we're gonna make it a little bit easier by making your down dog just a drop shorter. So you'll move your feet just about 2 inches closer to your hands and really make it only be about 2 inches or it'll get a little bit cumbersome. Okay, so now you're gonna put all the actions together that we've done. First, inhale, shift forward to plank pose. Bring your shoulders over your wrists and then a drop beyond that. Pick your right foot up. On an exhale, drag your right knee to the back of your right tricep. Once it lands and touches, shift even further forward with your shoulders. Bend your elbows until your rib cage hits your strap again, right? Now, once you're there, shoulders up on your back, low belly. Now, use the back of your leg like you just did at the front of your mat to try to pick the back foot up. You have to do a little up dog in your chest and a lot in the left hamstring. Good. And then from there, you can either pop it off and end up in Chaturanga or step your foot back to Chaturanga. And then you can inhale into up dog from here or right up into plank. It's up to you. The strap's there, but it won't bother you. And then exhale back into down dog. All the things all at once. So now we'll do the other side. Little shorter, 2 inches. Inhale, come on forward. It makes it easier to get your knee to your tricep. Shift a little further, leg up, left one. Exhale, knee to tricep, let it land. Once it lands, shift forward, bend your elbows, let your chest land, keep your shoulders up, Janice. Work the back of your right leg to pick the leg up just like you did when you were doing that standing L. These are so good. Good, and then send your left leg back. You can be in Chaturanga. Inhale into up dog or into plank, and then exhale into down dog. All right, come down and rest in child's pose for a second. We're gonna do it with a straight leg this time. So it's the same thing like you did in triangle pose. You're gonna spin the inner thigh up and reach the heel forward, just like a kind of tilted on its side triangle. So we'll do it with the strap though again. It just makes it a lot easier. It makes it easier to understand how to do that transition to out of the arm balance into Chaturanga that you always see people doing in class. Ready, you two? Here we go. Second one. Back up into down dog. We're going to do the twisted version today too. All right, inhale, come on forward. Pick your right foot up. Let the knee land on your tricep. Okay, once it does, you do the same thing. Shift forward, elbows bend, chest stays wide. Work to pick the back leg up, and then work to straighten the right leg. Send it out to the side. Roll the inner thigh up as you do. Janice, you are dropping that left shoulder like crazy. All right, and then go back into Chaturanga. Up into up dog or plank, and then exhale into downward facing. So you can see she's dropping one of her shoulders, and that happens at home, but at least with the strap, both of them kind of go down the same way, and it forces your shoulders on your back a little more, so you're not going to injure yourself. All right, come on forward, second side. She also has a very slippery mat. Pick her left foot up, bring your left knee to your left tricep. Once it lands, shift forward, elbows bend, use your right hamstring to pick the back leg up, reach through your left heel, send it out to the side. You gotta do a little spinning of the inner thigh to the ceiling. Good, collapse if you collapse, otherwise take it through a vinyasa and end up in down dog. All right, and then get rid of your strap for now, and you're gonna use it when we do the twisted version, but for now you can be done with it. And so it makes you be really honest. The elbows have to stay in. You have to stay even in your hands. You might drop your shoulders a little further than 90-degree bend in your elbows, but it'll keep you a lot safer. Right, back into down dog. Let's do some B's for a little further movement. So look forward, see your hands, step or hop your feet up. Inhale, chest wide. Exhale and fold. Bend your knees. Inhale into Utkatasana with your arms up. Straight elbows, John. And exhale, push up and stand, and bring your hands to your heart. Right, let's flow through just a couple B's. Inhale, bend your knees, sit back. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look forward, chest wide. Exhale, vinyasa to down dog. And you can skip these and just step right into down dog if you like. And that same core strength that you used for knee to nose, knee to tricep, use it to bring your foot through without lifting your legs. Spin your back heel flat. Take an inhale up into warrior one. And then exhale, hands down to your mat and move slowly through another vinyasa to down dog or right into down dog. Good. Right, and then belly, hip flexor, left foot comes forward, push the floor down, right heel down, inhale, rise. Think about your back leg and that arm balance. It's the same straight back leg here, and then slowly on your breath back through. Right, just 2 breaths here. I'm just using these to build a little heat to get moving. Right, and after your second exhale, look forward, step or hop your feet up. And then inhale right away, chest wide. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend your knees, sit back, arms up. Exhale, push up, stand. Bring your hands to your heart, mountain pose. One more time. Inhale, bend your knees, drop back, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, chest wide, look forward. And then exhale through a vinyasa, down dog. Once you're there, right away, right foot forward, back heel seals to the mat, straight back leg, chest lifted and square. Exhale, hands down, slow motion all the way down, elbows bending. Big breath into your chest for up dog. Exhale, up and back, and then do the left side on your own. Good. And once you're in your final downward facing dog, right away, walk your hands all the way back until they meet your feet. Grab hold of your elbows, hang forward. You can also slide your hands underneath your feet for Padahastasana. You bend your knees a lot so that your wrists and toes touch. And then fold forward, and you keep your knees pretty bent. You're just going to use this, if you've chosen this one, as a place to release your wrists. We've done a lot of work on our hands. So you stamp your toes down into the palms of your hands, and then you can pull up on your hands a little, and it just separates that joint out, giving it a little space. And the neck relaxed. If you want to nod, you can nod. Your hands are pinned under your feet, so if you tip over and do a somersault, I'm not there to laugh at you, but I totally would laugh. And you should laugh too if that happens. If they did it, I would totally laugh. All right, inhale, chest up and wide. Now take your hands out from under your feet, heel toe your feet all the way out to the edges of your mat. Right, have them parallel with one another, come up high onto your fingertips. Move your right hand or left hand into the midline just a little bit. Bring your right hand to your hip. That's your left hand. Good. Right, now with a nice long spine, keep your hips square, start to twist from your upper back, the portion of your spine that's in between your ribs, and turn your chest to the right. And then look at your right shoulder, reach your right arm straight out of that shoulder. Don't worry if it's anywhere near the ceiling. Okay, now use your upper back muscles to twist open. And eventually your arm might reach the ceiling, it might not, but you're really working to twist the spine here. And then if you're bendy like Janice, she's arching her low back, low belly comes in. Right? If you're not, upper back does a lot of work to keep widening your collarbones. And then bring your right hand down, left hand on your hip. On an exhale, start to twist to your left. You can always look at your hips and make sure they've stayed square, and then re-lengthen your spine forward. Look at your left collarbone. Reach your arms straight out of it like side plank. And it'll kind of be like, whoa, that's way out to the side of my mat, not the ceiling. That's all right. You use that as a barometer for how far you're truly twisting your spine, not your shoulder. Start to wrap the left ribs up, right ribs down by working across your abdomen, some of the muscles of your core. Good. And then lower your left hand down and bring your hands to your hips. And inhale, stand yourself all the way up. And step yourself to the front of your mat with your right foot forward and your left foot back. Right. So line up heel to heel, turn your back toes in any amount that makes it easy to square your hips and your chest to the front. Right. Left hand on your hip, right arm, reach it up. Actually, I don't want that. Right hand on your hip, I like it better. All right, and now fold forward halfway. Wouldn't have made any sense. Right, once you're halfway, you can look at your hips, then re-square your chest and put your left hand either to the inside or the outside of your foot or on a block if you need to maintain the length in your spine. Now keep your right hand on your hip like you did at the back, start to twist to the right. Then look at your right shoulder, reach your arm straight out of it. Then use your spine and the muscles across your abdomen, your obliques, the twisting portion. You have two different sets. So we're going to wrap your left ribs towards your right hip, and then you'll use your upper back muscles to wrap your upper left back down towards the floor as well. Good. Very, buddy. Nice. And then bring your right hand down. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, stand yourself all the way up. Step your left foot forward. Step your right foot back. We'll do the other side. Last standing pose, and then we'll do just one more thing before we do the arm balance with the twist. So this time, right arm goes up. I got it right this time, thank goodness. Exhale, fold forward. If you need to check your hips and your chest, look at them, square them, right hand down, sternum forward, start to twist. And you have to go really slowly. It's like, okay, I'm only going to twist my spine. I'm only going to twist that. And then you reach your left arm straight out. And then just keep thinking, how do I work across my belly? How do I work into the muscles of my upper back to keep turning myself open, open, open? Good. And it's really hard, and I shake every time I do it this way. But I know that it's doing good stuff. Good. All right, lower your left hand down. Step your right, or hands to your hips. Inhale, stand up. Sorry, we won't do it that way. It'd be weird. Step your left foot forward. Right, and take a sun salutation A back to downward facing dog. So inhale, arms up. And exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. And exhale through a vinyasa to down dog. I'm going to do a little ode to one of my friends who's a teacher. I'm not sure he invented this pose, but I think he might have. Do fallen triangle because it just makes sense. All right, so you're going to inhale, come forward into plank pose like we've been working. This time, because the twist needs to go the right way, you're going to pick your left foot up. Right? As you take an exhale, bring your left knee across towards your right arm, keeping your shoulders square. Right? It might not land all the way, that's okay. Now straighten your left leg out and let the foot hit the floor. Spin your back heel flat like a warrior one leg, turn your chest open, and reach your right arm up to the ceiling like a side plank in your upper body. Right? At the sides of your torso to feel even, and it might mean dropping your hips a little bit. Draw your lower belly in. Feel your inner thighs hug towards one another somewhat. Good. Right? And then bring your right hand down. Drag your left knee back across towards your nose. And then stretch up and back, three-legged dog. And set your left leg all the way down. Okay, second side, fallen triangle. Come on forward to plank pose. Pick your right foot up, bring your right knee to your left arm. Once it's there, shoulders square, land your foot, straighten the knee, spin your back heel flat, open it on out, left arm goes straight up. So right hand presses both shoulders away from your ears, low belly, hips low enough like triangle so that the sides of your torso are even, and then chest wide, and feel your inner thighs hug together a little bit. Good. And then lower your left hand down, drag your right knee across back to your nose, and then stretch up and back, three-legged dog, and lower your right leg all the way down. Right, drop yourself down into child's pose for a second. Right, so you have almost all of the efforts there. It's just a little different with the back leg in this one than it is when you do the first version of the arm balance that we did. So you're going to just do a quick Vashisthasana to explore the outer hip. So come into down dog. Bring your feet together, glide forward into plank pose. Center your left hand a little bit and open out into Vashisthasana, right arm up. So you want your front hand to intersect your back arch, the arch of your feet. And reach your top arm straight up. Now draw your belly in, roll your right hip over your left. Right, now lift your right leg just an inch off of your left thigh. Feel the outer hip start to work, right? So start to pay attention to the muscles in the outer hip and just in the outer edge of the thigh. Good, and then lower your right leg down, come into plank pose and go straight into the other side. So roll it open, top arm up, hip stack, shoulder stack, belly in, pick your left foot up just an inch, and just feel the outer hip, the outer thigh do a little bit of work. Good. And then lower it down, come into plank pose, press right back into down dog. Don't even worry about a vinyasa here. Okay, lower your knee down, knee, just one. Take a knee like it's football, right? Lower your knees down. You're gonna put the strap around your arms again. Now, it doesn't act as a hammock here. What it really does is hold your elbows in. That's the part that's hard when you're doing this twist. It's hard to get the knee across to your elbow, so the strap will be there to help you with that. All right, and we're gonna do it the backwards way again because that's the right side twist. Have the left leg come across. So down dog and a good amount shorter on this one, like 3 or 4 inches. Makes it a lot easier to get that knee all the way across. Right, come on forward to plank pose, shoulders over your wrists, and you'll be in like this little short plank. That's okay. Pick your left foot up, drag your left knee across to your right arm until it lands. Now, shift forward like you did before. Bend your elbows. Once you bend your elbows, pull your sternum forward. Use your outer right hip like you did in side plank and pick the back leg up. Good. Once the back leg comes up, you can straighten the bottom leg like you just did it in fallen triangle. Reach through the toes. Keep your chest wide. These are gorgeous. Good. Now, your strap is there, so if you want to hop it back into chaturanga, you can pop off and hop back, or you step back like Janice did. You can do a vinyasa or press back into down dog. Those are really good. Right? Second side. So a little shorter, so it makes it easy for the knee to land. Come forward into plank, and just meaning bring your shoulders over your wrists, and then pick your right foot up, bring it across to your left arm. And then once you have that, shift forward, look forward, bend your elbows, pick it up, outer left hip works, drag the leg up, 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 and then maybe straighten the right one like you did in fallen triangle. Woo! One side's always better than the other. And then take a vinyasa or push back into down dog, drop yourself down, get rid of your strap, and take child's pose for a few moments. All right. So inevitably your breath speeds up when you do all of those. So just take a pause. And they're not easy, and it's not easy to get your back leg off of the ground, but you have all of the components in that sequence to be able to explore the efforts that you need to eventually do it. And the strap really does make it a lot easier, so don't be afraid to use it all the time. Eventually you have to get rid of it, but for now you can use it. Let's do a little bit of back bending just to undo that. So press back into down dog, or you can just sit up, swing your legs around, and lie down on your back. It's up to you. These two like a good jump through. All right, jump on through, Janice. And lie down. Let's just do some bridge poses to start with. So bend your knees, place your feet hip distance apart, arms alongside of you, and then lift your hips up, plant your feet evenly like you were working on your hands before. Walk your shoulders under your body, interlace your fingers. You can always grab the edges of your mat if you prefer that. And then tailbone under towards the ceiling enough that your low back feels long like it's been all day. Work into arching the upper back by pressing the outer upper shoulder down. And then these are just there to kind of undo some of the stuff that we were doing. We were doing knee to tricep, all that's hip flexor work. This is to open some of that back out. Good. And then separate your arms apart and slowly lower yourself all the way down. All right. And do one more of those, and then you have an option to do an Urdhva Dhanurasana. So take just a few breaths. There's this thing that's like, I want to lie here forever or in between, but if you do, you'll never go back up. So up you go, back into bridge. The inevitable in-between back bends debate. They're really good for you, though. All right. Smooth breath. Think about accentuating the back bend in your upper back, limiting the extra back bend you add in your lower back. Throat should feel open. Good. And then separate your arms, lower yourself down, and take a pause. Do either of you not want to do Urdhva? You don't want to do it? Janice is going to do another bridge pose. Do you want to do an Urdhva? All right, John's going to do an erdva. You're so welcome. You did need a tricep enough for me. All right. So when you're ready, Janice is going to go right back up, and you can too. Same thing. Otherwise, hands alongside your ears. You'll lift your hips like you did for bridge pose a moment ago. Inhale through the crown of your head like you did in Prasarita. Set your arms up to look like Chaturanga, and then press your hands down to lift yourself up. Good. Now that is a gorgeous erdva. Few breaths, let your neck relax, your breath be steady no matter which one you've chosen. And then duck your chin. If you're in erdva, lower down, try to keep your elbows in on the way down. If you're in bridge, down you go. And then separate your feet wider to the edges of your mat, knock your knees together. You can put your hands on your belly if you like that, or you can just leave them alongside your torso. And then close your eyes. And pay attention to what you've ended up with at the end of your practice. You got onto your mat, you did a whole bunch of hard work, a whole bunch of trying things that may or may not be new or that you're approaching in a different way. And from that, you're left in this different state, physically and maybe mentally. Or it might be easier to be still, to be quiet, or to be proud of the work that you did, which you should be, always. It's not easy stuff. And then hug your knees in, and we'll do just a reclined twist. So keep your right leg hugged in, reach your left leg out, set it all the way down, drop your right knee off to the left, reach your right arm out to the side, and take a nice gentle spinal twist. And seeing as you just did the arm balance, it's much the same shape as this. If you want to straighten your right leg out and send it to the side, you could do that as well. And you can grab the outer edge of the foot or your thigh like they're doing. Look, it's the same. You know how I love a good full circle. Like, let's do the same pose in every single shape. Here's your reclined arm balance. I prefer the reclined arm balances these days. All right, come back up and do the other side. Hug your left knee in, reach your right leg out, twist. I'm just going to do everything supine in my life. And if you're straightening your left leg out, straighten it out. You don't have to do that. If it's way too much or it's too much on your IT band, don't worry about it. Just do a recline twist. And then come back up, hug your knees in. Take one or a bunch of rocks up to seated and stretch your legs out in front of you into Dandasana. So once your legs are out, you can do feet together. I prefer feet hip distance these days, but again, I like supine things these days, so it's up to you. But whatever allows you to sit up tall with straight legs, and then reach your arms up for an inhale. And as you exhale, fold forward and grab anything that's available to you. You have a strap, so if it's difficult to lengthen your spine and to fold from your hip crease, and you're just folding your spine, rounding forward, put the strap around your feet and do it that way. It's not a punishment. It's really going to give you the efforts you need to fold forward like Janice or like John one day. And if you're bendy like they are, then you're grounding your sit bones, your heels, your thighs. You're leaving all that alone and pulling your chest forward. And then inhale, sit yourself all the way up. And exhale, lie down on your back. Let's do reclined Gomukhasana for a little hip stretch before Shavasana. So stack your right thigh all the way over your left, like fancy legs if you were having dinner with the Queen. I always say the Queen. My dad lives in London. Right, flex your ankles, grab the edges of your feet. I'm Canadian too, part of the Commonwealth. Spin your feet to the sides and then pull them down towards your shoulders. Now, if once you've done this, your knees have come far apart or it's difficult to even grab your feet, just hug your knees in with your thighs stacked over top of one another. There's a little tutorial online on how to do reclined Gomukhasana on the site if you want to see that. And now you can close your eyes unless that's going to cause you to wander back to somewhere else that's not on your mat. And if it does, just have your eyes open. You can fuzz them out and look at the ceiling. And you're just paying attention. Just like you pay attention to how to do an arm balance, you pay attention to what you're going to do with your body to accomplish it. Here you pay attention to how this feels in your hip, what your breath is doing. And that's harder a lot of the time than it is to do the difficult standing poses or arm balances. Your mind makes it very well known it's easy to wander. And now do the other side, cross the other leg. Get still in your physical body. Attempt to do the hard work of getting more still in your mind by paying attention. And it's in your body. That's what you're paying attention to. And then one last time, hug your knees into your chest. And then set yourself up into Shavasana. So stretch your legs out, separate them as wide as you like, your arms as wide as you like. You're at home or you're somewhere where you have space. There's probably no one limiting your space. So spread out until you feel connected to the floor. And then the hard work in Shavasana, it's not hard work to relax sometimes that's hard work. It's hard work to hold your body still and in turn to hold your mind still. So hold your body still, choose that. And then the choice to hold your mind still means giving it a task. And that's easiest to do if you just focus on your breathing. In and out through your nose. When you wander off of that topic, just come back. Doesn't matter how many times you have to do it. And then take rest.